Hello, Facebook Live. So, tonight I wanted to talk about a speaker that I saw at the Grant Cardone 10X Growth Con 2 at Mandalay Bay a couple weeks ago. This speaker was actually one of the best ones that I saw there, and there were a lot of good ones too. Ed Mylett, Grant Cardone himself was very good, was there, Elena Cardone. A lot of good business speakers. Roddy Chong was one of my favorites that I saw there. He was actually he was Shania Twain's violinist, and he actually, I believe, was with what's the lady from that sang Titanic? Anyway, so he was real good, and so Brad Lee was actually my favorite speaker of the entire 4-day event, and there were some big speakers there. Damon Johns was there, was a real good speaker. So Brad Lee is the CEO of Lightspeed VT, which stands for Virtual Training, or Victor Tango, if you ask him, because that sounds cool. Brad Lee was a former Marine. I'm a former Marine too, so I definitely like the fact that he was a former Marine, and you could tell because he's really cool like that. So he actually said a few things during his talk, his 45-minute talk there. I wish they had given him more, that were real helpful when me and my wife Michelle came back to bring some of these things back into our business. There were a couple things that he said that were really simple but really effective. So I wanted to just share some of the things from his talk, maybe the bottom line things that were the biggest takeaways that maybe you and your business, or if you're striving for success in whatever your field is, or pretty much anything you're trying to accomplish or have some success in, these things will actually help. So the first thing that he said was really kind of simple, and it went right along with the bold laws that we have at Keller Williams Realty, which is where I am. We have MAPS coaching, which is really great. It's great for new agents. It's they have this thing called bold, and one of the laws is if you don't change the things that you're doing, then you're going to get the same things. So that's one of the things that Brad said, like, wow, okay, this guy's really on the same page with everything, with other training that I'm doing. But if you don't change the things you're doing, then you're going to get the same things you've been getting. And he apologized, actually, when he got on stage, because he said, well, I'm in a room filled with 9,000 super motivated, success-driven individuals who paid $1,000 on up to be in that room, which I also thought was particularly cool. This was an entire arena at Mandalay Bay, a 9,000-person arena filled with super success-driven individuals, and they weren't already all successful either. In fact, I would say maybe a third of that entire crowd had already achieved some level of success, and the others were striving and searching and learning and trying to find some good content that could help propel them. So again, that was the very first thing right off the bat. Change the things if you don't change the things you're doing, you're going to get the same stuff. How many people do you know that are just doing the same things day in, day out, and expecting some kind of different results? It's insane. So the first thing that on my list anyway of what Brad talked about was seek discomfort. Seek discomfort. What does that mean, seek discomfort? Our brains are designed to seek comfort. In fact, isn't that why we go to work every day? Isn't that why we do the things we're doing? We're looking for comfortable stuff. Is that maybe what it is? Or maybe all of the areas in our life that we actually achieve growth are in discomfort. In fact, I know me personally, I have never achieved any growth whatsoever in any area of my life in comfort. Our brains naturally like to seek comfort. And that's for survival purposes. When we're in comfort, say warmth, heat, food, things like that, those in our primal brains are survival type of things that we want to be drawn towards, right? So we seek comfort. Our brains could care less if we're successful, if we're wealthy, if we're living in worlds of abundance. So that's one of the things that is interesting, is the brains tell you to seek comfort, even though comfort is the very thing that will keep you exactly where you're at. It's kind of like the frog he'll jump out of a boiling pot, right? But he won't jump out of it if you turn it up 5 degrees at a time. So seek discomfort. Brad Lea said that it's not comfortable kicking ass. It's not comfortable being rich. And I thought, wow, that's a really interesting thing to say. It's not comfortable being rich. That kind of reminded me of of Jerry Maguire. I don't know if you guys remember that, the one football player they were interviewing on ESPN, and he said people don't understand the kind of pressure that 54 million come with. That's what I thought of when I heard Brad Lea say it's not comfortable being rich. It sounds kind of funny, counterintuitive, but he's right, actually, because you don't just get rich by just doing comfortable stuff. You got to do the stuff that nobody wants to do. That's what he said. Do the stuff that nobody wants to do. So ask yourself, in your field that you're in, whether maybe it's real estate, I have a lot of real estate friends on here and everything, or whatever it is. My brother's a deputy out in Los Angeles, or maybe whatever you're doing. Are you doing the stuff that no one wants to do? I bet that if you start doing stuff no one wants to do, you're gonna propel yourself through whatever your line is, your field. So in my line of work in real estate, the stuff that no one wants to do is called prospecting. Every morning our team prospects between 9 a.m. and noon. We have to prospect our past clients that call into us for referrals, or seeing if there's anything that they need to satisfy any of their real estate needs, or just anything at all that they may need that we can provide that service for them. We prospect people that have applied on our website looking for a house, but they don't necessarily want a real estate agent to help them. They just want access to the MLS, which my site gives them, ultimatesellingteam.com. But so we have to prospect with them. We have to know our scripts and dialogues and everything, and it's uncomfortable sometimes. So that's the stuff that nobody in real estate wants to do. Everyone wants to do HGTV. They see that. That's the cool stuff, showing houses, wearing nice clothes, putting stuff under contract, negotiating cool deals with other agents and stuff like that. That's the cool stuff. But in order to get to that phase, you got to prospect for 3 or 4 hours a day if you really want to do it at a high level. Because sure, the average agent does like 3 to 5 deals a year from friends and family and stuff that falls in their lap. So to get there, you got to do the stuff that nobody wants to do. And then he took it a step further and he said, you have to do the stuff that you don't want to do. So I was asking myself, okay, what's the stuff that I'm not doing that I don't want to do? And there's all kinds of it, all kinds of things that I don't want to do. I also wasn't prospecting. My job on our real estate team is to prospect for talent. So our team members prospect for buyers and sellers and deals and transactional stuff. I have to prospect for top talent to bring them in and integrate them with the top talent we already have with the top training. So I've been slacking off on that all quarter, the last quarter before that. And in fact, every problem I ever had in my business was because I did not prospect for talent the way that I should have. So I thought that was really interesting. Seek discomfort. So then the second thing that he said that I thought was kind of simple and interesting, and like I was saying before, he apologized to all 9,000 of us because he's like, hey guys, I don't think I'm telling you anything that you don't know. In fact, I'm embarrassed to stand up here and tell you this stuff because it's really simple and you all probably already know it. And he was right. We did know it, but how many of us were actually doing it? Because I know I wasn't. And that's why maybe it struck me, the simplicity of the message, but the potency of it. Sometimes the stuff we need isn't complicated stuff. It's simple stuff. So the second thing was be real. What does he mean by that, too? Be real. So Brad Lea's nickname is the real Brad Lea. He's got a podcast that I started listening to ever since I came back from the 10X Growth Con, and it was called Dropping Bombs with the Real Brad Lea. And what he means by dropping bombs, he has these guests on his show. They're all CEOs and highly successful people in their fields or whatever that are showing up to Brad Lea's recording studio where he has his virtual training platforms, and he helps record training content for these entrepreneurs to either train their own staffs or to actually sell the content out on the market. And in fact, I'm going to log in here real quick. I want to see what everyone's taught. Hey, there's Michelle. I just want to see what everyone's doing here. Hang on, guys. So be real. When you're real, you'll attract the right people to you. That was his big thing with being real and with him being real. Bradley said, when you're full of shit, you're going to attract the wrong people to you. And I was thinking about that, like, yeah, that sounds cool. What does that mean exactly? And some people, probably that resonates more than others. If some people have a need to like fit in and stuff like that, I don't have that need personally, but I get it though, because I've had clients before, especially when I was new in my real estate career. I had some high-end clients, and they kind of ran the show. And you know how wealthy people are. They're not wealthy because they're stupid. So I had a lot of engineer types and stuff like that too, but they were used to being in control. And then I show up as a real estate agent, and they're calling the shots, and I'm letting them do it because I'm intimidated a little bit. So I was kind of being something that I wasn't quite, because I'm an expert. I know how to do real estate. I know my business, but for some reason I wasn't quite real enough with those people, and I ended up not giving them the best advice that I could have, because they were kind of calling the shots, and I let them, even though I was the expert. It was kind of not the best service for them. And I realized in that moment, when that happened my first year in real estate 8 years ago, that I need to be real, and I need to be the expert that they're looking for. I found a lot of wealthy people in real estate do that as well. A lot of wealthy clients. They're smart. They're experts in their fields. They're looking for experts in the real estate field too, and they kind of test you out a little bit. They run the show until you take the reins from them. So these wealthy clients, they'll start calling the shots until you grab it and tell them you got it. As soon as they feel comfortable that you've got it, they let you have it. So I learned that first year of Be Real, and he was absolutely right. And Bradley also said, gave a couple training tips too, because training is his forte. That's his expertise, is what he does there. He said good training requires good content, repetition, accountability, and practice. So good content's a must, but there's a lot of, I found that most training is going to be pretty good content, at least in the real estate field. If there's training, the problem isn't the content. The problem is a lack of training, especially when it comes to real estate. So if you're a real estate agent out there, you're looking for some great training, we certainly provide that at the Ultimate Selling Team. We recently got on the corporate version of Cardone U, so we train every day, 3 segments in the morning, role playing till 9 o'clock, and then we hit it till noon, prospecting, making sure that we're living a life of abundance and plenty of real estate transactions. So good content, repetition. Repetition is something that I was not doing enough. I have always kind of, when I was in the Marines, it was like, yeah, they tell you something once, you better write it down and you better remember it. Now, that was just a place you didn't get told to do stuff twice, right? So I got in the bad habit also of not repeating stuff enough with my own team members and in my own business. I say it once and I assume that it was like gospel and people wrote it down and started implementing that stuff, and then I never needed to mention it again. And I realized recently that I need to repeat stuff all the time for our team members to know that it's valid, and I'm going to keep inspecting it, because people will do what you inspect. But just so that it sank in too, we have a simple 4-step buyer process that it was simple. It's simple to me because I came up with it, so it was ingrained in my brain. But some of my members weren't picking up on it right away, and I'm wondering why can't they remember the simple thing? And it's because I wasn't repeating it enough. I repeated it once or twice, and then they should know it automatically. So repetition for good training, very important. Accountability is the linchpin in the training that we're doing at Keller Williams MAPS Coaching. I have a coach that holds me accountable, and then I coach our members and hold them accountable. And I didn't get the key to accountability for a long time, but as people, we oftentimes let ourselves off the hook so much that's why that accountability is so important, because it doesn't let us off the hook, because we'll let ourselves off the hook. Let's say, for example, I'm on a diet and I'm eating cheeseburgers. I love cheeseburgers, but it's not good for me and everything, but I need some accountability sometimes to make sure I'm not eating cheeseburgers. So, in practice also, you have to practice and implement what you learn. When we learn knowledge and things and we don't actually practice that stuff, we're never going to put it into practice if we don't practice it. That's why we also role play every morning, our scripts and dialogues, because we never want to practice on our money. That's what we call it. So we want to get really, really good at what we do with each other, so that we're not practicing on our actual clients. You never want to practice on a client. It's a disservice to the client. So number 3, the third thing that Bradley gave us, and he actually, I think he got this from the Illuminati, or the Illuminati was protecting this extremely valuable success secret. And part 1 to that success secret is do more. So what do you think of that? Do more. For example, let's say new people on our real estate team, the first thing we start looking at is, okay, here's a script, here's the dialogue and conversations that you have, and you have to have it with a certain number of people on our team, right? So what we're looking at is, do you have enough people to call? Are you calling enough people? And then do you know what to say when you're calling them, right? So are you calling enough people? Let's say whatever business that you're in. That's always the key anyway, any business. It's are you making enough contacts? Do you have enough people that you know? Do enough people know about you? That's our biggest problem, is obscurity in my industry anyway. So do more. And I was like, wow, man, that is really simple. So do more. That's the secret to success. Okay, do more. However, let's say, like, we have team members on my team making about $3,000 a month, and we have others making $7,500 and others making $15,000 a month. So the ones that are brand new in trainee status for, say, the first 3 months, making their $40K salary or whatever, the first thing they have to learn is, okay, call these people and say this simple thing, and how many can you call in your time block, right? So if you're making $40,000 a year and you're calling 30 people a day, call 60 people a day and you'll make twice the amount, or 80,000, right? Let's say you're calling 60 people a day, making 80K. Okay, so what are you going to do? How are you going to increase what you're doing? Call 120 people a day and make 160K, right? Eventually, though, what's the problem with that? You're going to run out of time, though, right? You're gonna kill yourself. Your spouse is going to hate you. Your dog's going to want to divorce you. And that's it. So there's another part to the formula. Get better. That's right. That's the formula. Do more, get better. So with our people, that's the second thing in the equation. So call more. And a lot of you have probably been in production-based jobs like that, where you got to keep calling and just call more. It's a numbers game, they say it. It is to a degree, until you run out of time, or you just quit because it sucks. And then eventually you're either going to quit or you're going to get better. Getting better is actually how you get your time back and how you exponentially take off in whatever your business is. So for our people, it's the scripts, dialogues, conversations, learning how to negotiate, how to show properties properly, all sorts of different little skills, tiny little skills that they skill up in, so that they're getting time back, being more effective and efficient at what they're doing, and blowing their business up. So that's the formula. Do more, get better. It was so simple. But I thought, man, Brad Lea, what do you mean do more, get better? That's it. What else? There doesn't need to be much more until you're blowing up past a certain level. Do more, get better. So how's that going in your businesses? What are you guys doing out there to do more and get better? So go ahead and comment below, and let's take a look, see what everyone's got to say about that. Do more, get better. Any questions about any of that, by the way? And I'm just interpreting what Brad Lea meant. I don't know. Maybe he meant something else, but I don't think so. It was pretty simple. And then he gave a little bonus, as if do more and get better wasn't enough, as if that alone wasn't worth the price of admission to the 10X Growth Con. Brad Lea gave one extra little tidbit, and that was brush your teeth. And I thought it was pretty funny and stuff, but he was right, though. He said, hey, you don't want to be trying to do more and get better with stuff and meeting clients and all these things, and you open your mouth and you got a bunch of Indian corn in there for teeth. Or as he put it, where it looks like your tongue's in jail because you're missing half your teeth. What he really meant with that is people are judging you. So you're doing everything to skill up. You're doing everything to do more, but then people are judging you out there. He said, go to the gym, get yourself fit, make yourself look good, because if you're going to go through all the trouble to be successful and put in the effort and get better and everything, make sure your appearance looks solid because people are judging you. So I thought that was pretty funny. Do more, get better, brush your teeth. Pretty simple, not easy all the time. The brushing the teeth part is probably the easiest part of that whole thing. Doing more, remember the comfort zone, seek discomfort. So I thought that was pretty cool. Seek discomfort, be real, do more, get better, brush your teeth. So that was really what I got out of Bradley's his talk. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought he was a cool guy. Me and Michelle got a chance to actually meet him and hang out with him during the course of the event backstage and stuff. We were hanging out, got to hang out with him at one of the parties that was there, and I'm glad that we did, because I started listening to his podcast, and it was pretty solid. He had a lot of cool guests on there. I'm hoping to maybe do some kind of business with Bradley this year with our own training content that we're producing this year, how to go from not having a career in real estate at all, real estate license or anything, to making $1 million in real estate a year within 3 years. And that's going to be coming out towards the end of the year, and I'm hoping to maybe host that on Bradley's platform, Lightspeed VT. So anyway, that was kind of what I got. That's my review of Brad Lea, the real Brad Lea. And don't forget to look up his podcast, Dropping Bombs with the Real Brad Lea. I think you'll really enjoy it. And that's not just for business owners or entrepreneurs, but anyone that's trying to lead a purposeful life, looking to have success in different areas of your life, whatever that may mean to you. But I thought that it was really good, and I think it may be really helpful to you, which is why I wanted to do this review, because I thought it may help a lot of people out there. And his podcast took off from day one to, in a very short time, it's one of the top 50 in the entire country, and that's because it's really entertaining. I binge listened to it like Netflix or something, because each one was really interesting, really cool. Anyway, that's all I got for you tonight, and I'm going to take a look at the comments below. Any questions you have, go ahead and put them down there. Any suggestions for a future a live stream or a podcast? Me and Dan Chabowski have our own podcast. It's called Agent to Agent. You can find that on iTunes, and that we did that through Grant Cardone TV. So I wanted to thank Grant Cardone also for having the 10X Growth Con too. It was great. It was great being there, being with with 9,000 other motivated, success-driven people. It was really special to be around that, and I'm looking forward to going next year, and looking forward to seeing you guys' comments below. So I'll be signing off tonight, and look forward to talking to you soon.